All right, let's go straight to the phones. We're going to talk to Marie in North Carolina. Except that is not North Carolina. That is New York City, said the former geography teacher. Thank God, everybody. I was in high school classroom shaping hearts and minds at one point. What's up, Marie? How are you?
Hi, Dr. John. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
I'm excited to you.
So freaking excited.
I am glad that you're in New York and not North Carolina because, good grief, I taught geography. What an idiot. All right, hey, so what's up? How can I help?
Okay, so my husband and I, we cannot agree about having children, and a lot of it has to do with him being in law enforcement.
Oof, it has been a year or two for your family, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been really hard.
Yeah, really tough. And I got law enforcement family too. It has been a messy, messy year. Every feeling, everything, right?
Yep.
All right, so tell me about these fights you're having.
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of background. We've been married for 6 years.
Okay.
I'm 30. He's almost 40. I grew up in a law enforcement family as well. My father, my grandfather. My father was in an elite unit in New York City, and he was never home. So I kind of grew up like with my mom really struggling, doing a lot of things alone, raising us alone, watching her cry a lot. And now that I'm older, she always says that she felt like a single mom. There's 3 of us, so she felt like she was a single mom raising 3 kids. So now that we're older, my husband has not been in law enforcement our whole marriage. He got in when we were married for 3 years, or 2 years, I don't know. He's been on for 4 years now.
Okay.
And we we both knew we wanted kids, but I've never felt pressured to have them. He's never pressured me. But now I feel like I don't want to feel like a single mom. And I feel like I don't want to raise my children while my husband is working 12-hour shifts every day, working overtime, barely getting 2 days off a week, coming home stressed out. And don't get me wrong, he's amazing. Like, I won the prize with him. Like, I really did. But I mean, like, his job is stressful. That's just the reality. And I don't want to be, not that I feel like he would do this, but I feel like it's a possibility. Like, I don't want to be a punching bag for his emotions, and then having to take care of kids, and then having to give up my own life. It's just really frustrating. And he's getting to an age, because he is 10 years older than me, that he's like, all right, like, I'm ready for children. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm really not. And I don't really want to do this by myself. Yeah. And that's what I see happening for me, is me doing it by myself.
Gotcha. Thank you for being brave. That's not an easy thing to say out loud, all that stuff you just said.
Yeah.
So, you know this, but I'm just going to say it out loud, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Your husband's not your dad, is he?
No, he's not.
But you carry a lot of your dad around in your backpack, don't you?
Way too much, honestly. No. Way too much.
It sounds like you are more at war with your old man and this job that stole your dad than you are your husband. Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
So, you said he won the lottery. He's a great guy. He's serving his community. He loves you like crazy. What have you seen in him that makes you think he's going to disappear on you?
Nothing. Like, Dr. John, he's amazing. Like, he is an amazing person. He would be the best freaking dad ever. Like, he would be the best dad. He would be so hands-on. He would really take care of me. But I am just so, I'm so afraid. Yeah. And I just remember, like, turning 18 and finding out that, like, my dad had some infidelities, like, while he was obviously work. He's retired now. My parents are really great. And they worked through those infidelities. Yeah. They did. But I saw my mom cry so much, and I saw her work through that alone too, mostly alone, honestly. And I don't know. I love my husband. He's like I said, he's the freaking best, but I feel like anybody is capable of anything. Mm-hmm. And I feel like any situation is capable of change.
Listen, I'm laughing because I do not know a cop's kid who who trusts anyone.
I really don't trust
Nobody,
anybody.
right? Hey, when you go into a restaurant, do you sit with your back to the wall? Yes, of course you do.
I'm a psycho. I am
No, you're
literally
not.
a psycho.
Hey, listen,
I feel
you're
like
not.
a psycho.
You're a cop's kid. I'm the same way, okay? I'm meeting with a counselor now, and maybe 2 sessions ago, the guy was like, this psychologist, he was like, who do you trust? And I was like, man, my wife. And he's like, you had to think about that. Who else? And I was like, Todd. Like, listen, all of your fears and insecurities are earned, okay? They're all earned. You've lived it. And here's the thing about, for those of you who don't know, growing up in the home of a cop, every single day they leave, their spouse knows they may not come home. And it becomes so routine that we forget those traumas just add up and add up and add up and add up. And as a kid, like, you just see dad, shining his shoes and cleaning his gun and look at his bulletproof vest, and you see how tough and big and wonderful that all is, and the fact he might die today or the next day or the next day. And so Marie, all of your stuff is well earned. And can I also say this? Your dad could be a really amazing guy and have totally not shown up for you as a kid. It can be both and he may have made some major changes in his life, because cops in the 70s and 80s had there was nothing about how to take care of yourself at home. Nothing. You were on the clock here. You're about your community, and your kids and family were just something that, was like a hobby, right? Yeah. And a lot of cops now are, especially the older ones, are realizing, oh my gosh, I gave up everything, right? But it can be both and. So your dad could have really, really sucked growing up. And your mom may have done it all by herself, and she may have done it really hard and sometimes not very well. Yeah. And there's probably part of you that is as much afraid of your husband turning into your dad as you are of turning into your mom. Is that fair?
100%. Oh, 100%.
Okay.
My dad, like my mom was so busy taking care of the kids, and my dad was so busy working that the only attention, I was the oldest, so the only attention we really got was disciplinary, especially from my dad. So we knew when dad was coming home from work, we were going to get it. Like if we got bad grades, and I don't want to be that kind of family.
So listen. Don't. Just don't. And I wish it was harder than that, but it's not. Just choose not to be. Because here's what I know about you. Just by this phone call, you're going to be a incredible mom if you decide to have kids. Incredible mom. And based on what you've told me about your husband, you listen to this show, right? People call and tell me all kinds of crazy things about their husband. You like yours a lot.
I love mine. He's the freaking best.
Well, everyone loves their husband. You like yours. That's a whole other level, right?
Yep. It's true.
Y'all are going to be incredible parents. It will take both of you saying, we are committed together to not replay the past. And when my guess is your mom was quote unquote really busy with the kids and your dad was quote unquote really busy with the work, my guess is if you really dug into that, they were really busy staying out of each other's way. Yeah. They were probably really busy not wanting to be connected to each other for some reasons that you may never know about. Yeah. And so while I want you to hold their experience in your hand, because it is your experience too, and those feelings of neglect and frustration and that my wife calls it Sunday afternoon dad, that cop presence that walks in the door, you feel it. And you can be in your room, door shut, listening to old Poison CDs, and that guy walks in the door, he's there, right?
It's true.
It's just this weight, right? That's all true. And
it's anxiety.
It is. But it's earned anxiety. Your brain remembers that, and it doesn't want to do that again. So when your husband looks at you and he's like, hey, I'm joining the police force, you're like, oh, cool. And then you went, oh, no, right?
Exactly.
And your heart took off, your stomach drops, and he calls and he's like, hey, I'm going to be late. You're like, okay, that's cool. And then there's a part of your brain that sets off an alarm that goes, here we go again. And suddenly New York's going to be more important than you. And you watch the news, and every day you're like, oh, he's not coming home. He's not coming home. And almost to the point when he comes home, it becomes a surprise. Yeah. And then you lean on him a little bit heavier, and you start creating a new world. Right? I've been there, okay? And I'm not married to a cop. I just live with one, right? And so here's the thing. You hold that in one hand. And in the other hand, you hold your husband's hand really tight, and y'all say, we're not doing this. We're going to put this family first. We're going to put our marriage first and then our kids. You're going to be an incredible cop, and you're going to teach our kids what loving their community looks like, what service really looks like, even when it's hard and scary. And you're going to show them what listening looks like and what feelings look like and what saying, hey, I messed up or I'm wrong or I'm scared looks like. You're going to show your kids what really digging in on mom looks like. Like, not in a bad way. And like I said that all weird. Like what love looks like, gross love, like kids, like quit kissing in the kitchen love, right? All of those things are a choice. And that's somebody in your family is going to have to turn and face the forest fire. And I think it's you. Does that mean you have to have kids? No. But I think that you want them. You just don't want to be your mom. And I think that you want him, you just don't want him to be your dad. And all of a sudden, these variables are starting to line up. Oh, he's got your dad's job. And oh, you don't want to be a single mom. And oh, gosh, that sounds like my mom. And oh, no. And here we go, right? I think y'all can do it. In fact, I know you can do it. I know you can. It's about being super intentional and saying this stops with us. And we're going to be the greatest parents who have ever lived. I'm going to give you a copy of my book, Redefining Anxiety. Y'all can use it as a roadmap. And I want y'all to have true, real, weird, hard conversations about, not weird, but let's just be honest. Are we going to do this kid thing or not? And don't leave it hanging out there. Don't let it just stay untethered. Come up with it. Say we're going to talk about it right now. We're going to make a decision. Then we're going to wait 5 months. We're not going to bring it up. We're not going to discuss it. And we will agree to keep looping back to it. But let's don't let that hang over our relationship, because it's going to start like a little splinter, and then it's going to turn into a wound, and the whole thing's going to get infected. It's going to become a mess. Have it out. Have that hard conversation. And if you decide to have kids, number 1, y'all are going to be great. Number 2, decide you're going to be great. Number 3, be about making it happen.